Hey y'all, hey, we're back. My name is Tiara.
Hey, and I am Adrian, and welcome back.
Welcome back to Marriage
Good
Chats.
Things Marriage Chats, y'all. We love you. We thank you for being here with us today. That's my drag queen voice. Thank you guys for joining us again today on this week's episode. Before we jump on into our lesson, let's go ahead and do some housekeeping. What do we usually say? Like, comment, subscribe, notification, all the things. Those things.
All the things.
All of those things. Also, if y'all, just want to send us an email, got a question. Y'all, sorry, it's apparently raining real bad outside, so if some lights flicker, oopsies. Yeah. But we getting it done for you because we love you.
We do.
We love you. So, but yes, if y'all want to go ahead and send us any questions or episode suggestions, anything, you can send us an email at what's our email?
It's agoodthing.org@gmail.com.
So there you have it. Let's go ahead. Y'all ready? I am. Let's go ahead and dive into the lesson.
So I just want to say first, if y'all haven't caught up yet,
please,
I need y'all to go back to YouTube, not just like and comment, subscribe. I need y'all to go and actually watch. We've been getting into some deep stuff.
Yeah, we have uncomfortable stuff too.
Yes. So please go back and watch our videos and comment all the things. And again, we welcome your feedback. We want to know what you guys want to hear, what you want to talk about. Yep. So that helps to steer us in the direction, know where we want to go.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
So today we're going to talk about, and we've kind of been talking about this like here and on, a little bit here and there. But what are you doing to continually learn your spouse?
That's a good one.
And I don't think people really prepare you for that.
No.
You get into a marriage, you think that the person you marry, that's who they're going to be the rest of your life.
And that is
a big
lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. Name that movie in that too.
Yeah, you're gonna change, they're gonna change. You constantly gotta learn yourself, they constantly gotta learn themselves. Yep. You constantly gotta learn them, yep. They constantly gotta learn you.
Yep. Ideas, thoughts, opinions, all of those things change. One day I could be like, I like nacho cheese Doritos, and tomorrow I'll be like, get them nasty things away from me.
Yeah.
They change. You got to be, open and accepting and loving to your spouse on their ideas that change and support, because sometimes they ideas might be a little radical, and you be like, all right, well, I support you, but you're gonna have to think about it.
Yeah. And that made me think about, I just said on the episode about My Wife and Kids, I've been watching My Wife and Kids all week.
I love that show.
So it made me think about this episode where Jay was getting ready to start a restaurant. And so the kids was like, oh, no, I don't want to. He was like, no, we need everybody to help out. So you want us to work for free? Yes. You're going to support your mother on her dream. Y'all all going to be there front and center.
Yep.
And we're going to support her dream no matter how long it lasts.
Yep.
If it lasts a week, 2 weeks, 2 years, 5 years, we're going to support her. And everybody going to do it. I'm like, I know that's right.
That's when I was in competition with the Who's.
Yeah.
Eddie and Annie Who.
Right. So, but yeah, so we're going to talk about this list that we found on marriage.com that has like a breakdown of all these things that help you to figure out, like, am I doing these things actively? Because it's not, I'm going to just say, it's not something I would say comes naturally.
No.
You have to be intentional about it. So somebody got to tell you, okay, what do I need to do to continue to make sure I'm learning my spouse? Because that requires you not only to be patient, make sure you're not being selfish, and make sure your pride and your ego is not in the way. But it requires you to like study this person, watch them.
Yep. And if you're not naturally a people watcher, it's gonna be a little difficult. I'm a people watcher, so I'm gonna sit and I'm gonna watch. I'll say something and I'll watch your reaction. I ain't gonna say nothing about your reaction, but I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna see how you take my personality, how you deal with children, how you deal with the pets, how you handling situations.
Yeah.
That way, I know how to gauge. Okay, I know if this happens, whether it's me or somebody else, then this is how I would approach the situation to calm my partner down.
Yeah.
So you really do have to watch.
Yeah.
And it's a lot because sometimes your partner, your spouse ain't gonna be like, now you know that I don't like that. Sometimes they're not gonna say that, and you just playing the guessing game.
Yeah.
So
and
why
sometimes
not just watch?
And sometimes you can bring things up to them that they didn't even realize. If you're really watching, you can bring up things like, no, you kind of changed with it. Now you kind of this, and help them to realize in their modes of changing and developing, and help them out, you know, and I'm sure they'll appreciate that too.
Yeah.
So first on the list, which is definitely the most important, is understanding yourself. Understanding you. If you don't understand you, you can't get frustrated because your spouse isn't understanding you at the moment because you're confused. Because you don't know what you want.
And a tricky thing is with that, we're still learning ourselves. I know I can speak for me.
Yeah.
I'm still learning me because we're transitioning.
Yeah.
Like Twee's transitioning to being a mom of a young adult now, just graduated high school. She's a young adult and she's now about to hop into her own independence. So Twee is learning how to be a mother of an older child versus me. I still got kids and toddlers. Lord, still got the little ones. But I got a taste this week of how it would feel when both of my children are away at school because the little one, Summer, she started swim camp today or this week. So, I got a chance to be like, okay, whoa, what am I supposed to? How am I supposed to deal with this? What am I supposed to do with nobody here? Like, how am I? So I'm like learning and transitioning. I'm learning myself of who I am now, but it opens up so much more space and time and things like that for you to get a chance to sit with yourself and think about, what is it that I like? Do I like this? Do I like that? What do I want to wear?
Yeah.
What's my fashion style? How do I want to wear my stuff like you? Simple. I know with me, I'd be thinking about that. How I want to wear my hair? How do I want to do this? Do I want to start going to the gym with Twee? Because Twee goes to the gym all the time, and I'll be wanting to. I have a desire, but sometimes that desire be fizzling. But I'm working on it.
Yeah.
But I would have more time to be able to think on those things and understand who I am, so that I could further communicate that to my husband. Like, hey, I think I want to try this, or I think I want to get into this. I think I want to learn more about this. I think I want to further my education. I think I want to go back to. It's understanding who we are.
Yeah.
Sitting and being quiet with yourself and just figuring it out.
Yeah.
Because yourself is going to tell yourself.
Exactly. And I want to debunk what may be a fear or concern for some people, thinking like, how can you commit or marry somebody if they're going to be changing or they're going to change, or how do you know if you're still going to like them? I want to tell you firsthand that as you are learning yourself, like as I see my husband growing and changing and transitioning, it's still like, it pleases me to see him grow.
Right.
It pleases me to see him changing in good ways, developing, because he's just getting better. He's just growing more. He's just, so if you really love that person, you're going to love them through the transition and the changes. And believe it or not, no matter what, you're helping one another grow and change.
Yeah.
Like that's part of the partnership in a marriage, is you're helping one another.
Yeah.
Directly or indirectly.
Yeah. Because a lot of times we learn from seeing others do it, and then you're like, oh, I kind of like that idea. I think I want to incorporate that. Even I think about, so when me and my husband, when me and Cortez was just dating, and I remember being like, I want to try some sushi. And he was like, sushi, gross. Now you can't keep a spicy tuna roll and spicy salmon roll up out with some sticky rice and some noodles. Crab ragoon, egg roll, spring roll. You can't keep that from off his order when we going to get some sushi. So, he learned that, I introduced that to him. He learned that he liked it after all the, I don't like. Same with clothing choice. My husband ain't no bigger than this cup. Okay. I mean, he ain't short, but he's a thin man. Yeah. And I love you, boo. He's a thin man. But back in the day, y'all remember the trend when the little guys was wearing them dress t-shirts? They straight was wearing tall t-shirts and shorts that weren't shorts. They were wide leg pants that cut off at the calf. Yeah. Like, I remember being like, brother, you weigh a good 140. Why do you have on 4X? Take it off. Yeah. Take it off. So when he, decided, you know what, let me go ahead and try a smaller jean size and a smaller shirt. I do like my pants. I bet. Yeah. Yeah. You ain't got to walk around like this and you ain't got your pants folded, fan folded with your belt because they 5X's and you are a size 30. Yeah. 30, 32. Yeah. 32, 32, sir. You're not 8X. Right. Right. So I like to take the credit and say that I introduced those things to him because I, as his girlfriend, was like, you know what? I don't think, like, you look cute. Because, that was cute at the time to us. Yeah. But I was like, well, why don't you try doing this? Try wearing a more, close to your leg fitted jean. He tried that and was like, yeah, I think I like that. He be standing in his airport. And I'm like, you see how I hang on my shoe? Yeah, I see. Because I knew. That's why I suggested it to you. Hot stuff.
Yeah, your partner should be able to appreciate you bringing things to them, a lot of people I've heard before, like, saying, if it wasn't for my wife or it wasn't for my husband, like, they've introduced me to so much. I've experienced this. I wouldn't have experienced. I probably would never try stuff like that. When you was talking about the sushi, it made me think about my hubby. Hey, boo. So I think with all his heart and soul, he really want to love him a crab leg. He really do. Every time. So for graduation, we went out to get some crab legs because my daughter wanted seafood. And my whole house loved it. But he doesn't, okay? He's not a real big fish person. He would rather just have him a catfish nugget and call it a day.
Not a nugget.
A catfish nugget.
That's it. The nugget ain't even the best. It's the fillet.
It is. But he love him a nugget, okay? But anyway, so we ordered a shrimp boil, and he sees the bag, and he just looking. I'm like, you want some, honey? I'm like, can you please not? Please don't. Please stop spreading my food and shaking your head. I promise y'all, he do this every time. So my family is laughing. I'm like, y'all, he really want to like it. He really do. But he be looking at it in disgust. I'm like, please stop looking at my food in disgust. Do you want to try it again? I guess. So I gave him a shrimp. He had a shrimp. It's cool. I'd rather have fried shrimp though. Okay, honey. So I get back to eating. He's still.
He said, give me one of them.
I'm like, so you want to try the crab leg? Just a little piece. Just a little piece. So he seen me dipping in like the butter. What's that? What's all in that?
Seasoning is butter. It's some broth. It's some seasoning. Some garlic.
He's been extra. Pepper. He's been extra, but he liked it. But he still just be sitting like, I mean, it ain't nasty, but I just don't understand why y'all think it's all of that. You think? Yes, I do.
I sure do.
Yes, I do.
Will crack a crab leg. You scurry across my way. I'm gonna be scared of you, but I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna put a pot down so you can run and scurry in the pot so I can throw some water in there and boil you.
Yes.
I'll turn me a crab leg scram with a side of sticky rice, and then you just put some of that little butter.
Oh. Okay, let me move on because we didn't went to number 2 yet. Number 2. Make it a priority, okay? That should speak for itself, but it's important, okay? The more you all are learning each other, the more you're co-syncing, the more you're better parenting, the better the bedroom will be, all these things, okay? Steady learning one another, doing for one another, serving one another.
Right.
Watching body language. And Dree was just kind of talking about this a little bit. You want to watch them and see, like, if they're uncomfortable, if they seem like they're not okay with something or something that makes them smile or anything. It don't just have to be the bad, you know.
Yeah. One
Watch.
thing that my husband is getting better at is watching to see if I've peopled too much.
Yeah.
Because I say this, I'm a talker. Even though I'm not a people person, I'm gonna talk to you, especially if it's something that's interesting to me. I'm gonna talk to you, but after a while, my social battery and that mug is like, what's a battery that died real quick? Because that's my social battery. Okay, that mug be on full, and 5 minutes later, I'll be like, dang, I really need to recharge.
Yeah,
back at home away from these people.
Yeah.
But he's good at like reading and like looking like, okay, all right, we gonna go ahead and go. Thank you. He's good at like,
that's good.
Because he knows sometimes I don't know how to always
cut it off.
Yeah, I don't know how to cut it off.
Yeah.
And I feel awkward being like, how do I end this so I can leave? So he'll end it for me. Yeah. Sometimes just like, all right, thank y'all, we're gonna get going. And he just pulled me on and then we just get going. So I mean, he, watches and I try to do the same with him. If something is, making him uncomfortable, he starts shaking that leg or he bites out of his jaw. And I'm like, all right, come on, listen. Or I just tap him, hey, just to bring him back. Hey.
Yeah. Yeah.
So watch your body language. It does, it helps both of you all out. Because if you need to hear him get on up out of a situation or, you are feeling uncomfortable, you definitely want your partner to know.
Yeah. So
that they can know to help you put an end to it or, set up a boundary if you don't know how to.
Yeah. Yeah. Talk about childhood. And I know this could really hit a soft spot for a lot of people. Yeah. Because some people had good childhoods, but then some people didn't. And some people try to put it behind them and don't talk about it. But I want to encourage you, if you can't talk about it with anybody else, it should be your spouse. And it does require you to be vulnerable and talk about some things that, that hurt you. Yeah. Because I think to Adrian's point about talking about body language, if they understand where you came from, why you feel a certain way about somebody, why this person makes you feel upset the way you do, or you get anxiety, if they know those things, they can help you navigate it a little bit more. Yeah. Or even help you to think is this something you really want to do?
Right.
Are you sure? Are you comfortable with this? I don't want you to feel pressured. I don't want you this, and kind of help you reason. Yeah. To decide if this is really a good idea. Yeah. Do you really feel like faking today? Right. It is times when my husband asked me that, so you really wanna? You feel like you want to play the fake role today? You want to be around blah 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 blah.
Yeah. And sometimes we be real ambitious and then no, let's go. I'm strong about it. But them spouses be knowing because as soon as I hit the door to exit my house, I be like, dang, I really don't. Which is why he might not put his clothes on until I'm like, all right, I'm ready. Yeah. Because he know I might be like, hey, don't be mad. Don't be mad.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm going to. I don't think I'm going to do this.
Yeah. And there's been times where I'm like, I'm not sure I'm going to go, but I need you there. Yeah. And let them know, because you're going to be there with me, that will make it easier, better, whatever. And then we can decide if we need to uproot or not, in that moment. So, showing appreciation to one another,
tokens of appreciation, compliments.
And in doing those things, I think if you're being intentional and acknowledging, you can step back at times to see what all your spouse really does. Yeah. Because sometimes I think we're just so used to the motion, especially when you talk about parenting. Oh my gosh. I try to remind my husband, sometimes I'll appreciate him and tell him thank you for things. He's like, why are you telling me thank you for that? Because you still don't have to do it. Yeah. Still, I want you to know it's still appreciated. Yeah. Yeah, you take out the trash every week, but I'm going to still say, honey, thanks for taking the trash out. Yep. Because you could have been having me ask you to take the trash out for the last 3 or 4 days. And you just did it without me having to say anything. Stuff like that.
Yeah, which is going to lead to other stuff.
So, yeah, I think it's important. And I try to teach my girls to do the same. Yeah. The small things I do. Yeah, and I was telling them the other day, I said, I try to invoke that in our environment, period. Your dad do something. Did you tell your daddy thank you?
Yep.
Did you tell your sister thank you?
Yep.
Did you text your daddy to tell him you still need to tell them thank you. You should need to be appreciative of whatever somebody does for you, because nobody has to do anything.
They surely don't.
So, yes, evoking appreciation. Learning communication types, learning how your spouse communicates, if they talk more, if they don't. Their body, how they move, their body language, stuff like that. We talked about that.
Are they aggressive in their communication? I am very animated. If y'all ain't ain't seen, in the words of my grandmother and the songwriter, if you don't know me by name, you never know. Right. But I'm very animated when it comes to my talking. So I move a lot and I'm turning to all these different characters, and sometimes when I'm like talking and I'm passionate about something, I get louder and louder and more animated. And my husband, not so much. Like, he'd be like, dang, you don't have to yell at me. I'm like, I wasn't yelling at you. Look, I wasn't yelling at you. I was just telling you the story. And, he don't be liking it. He don't get down with it. Yeah. Because to him, my animation and my passion and my loudness seems more like an attack. Yeah. And it's not me attacking him, it's just me just being animated. Yeah. So I try to, when we're talking and I get into conversations with him, especially like good deep conversations. Yeah. Like, I try to make sure I don't, do a lot of yelling, because the yell's gonna come out. I'm sorry, I'll be a lot animated. I've gotten better. I used to yell, probably not as animated as Dree, but I used to yell, and I started picking up on it. He would share it with me. So now I'm like intentionally making sure I think before I open my mouth, so that if some way or another he still took it some way, type of way, what did I say exactly? Yeah. And sometimes I think he kind of get annoyed, because he was like, why are you asking me that, honey? Or what specific? I said, no, I really want to know. I'm not trying to nitpick. But if there was something I said or how I said, because I'm still trying to get through his head that it still matters how you say things. Oh, yeah. Because to me, it's how you said it. It's how you said it. And he's still trying to get that. But I want you to know, when I said it, I put in my best effort to say it in a way that was not aggressive, that was not yelling, that was caring, that was thoughtful, that was intentional. So if I still said it in a way where you took offense, I want to know. Right. If it was what I said or how I said it, because I tried to say it in the most, Right. So I'm like, please, I need you to tell me, because I'm working on it. That's right. Yeah. That's right. It's all about being approachable, and then also feeling safe to have a conversation. Right. So, and the next step from there is stepping away instead of letting a situation escalate. I can remember times earlier on in our marriage when my husband is a smoker, and I would get so mad at times because he would overspend on smoking. And I would be like, I thought we talked about this. Yeah. And it would escalate to yelling, and sometimes a cuss word or two. And it was times where I kind of stood back, like, I really just let myself get that mad. I mean, I'm like, I still have a reason to be mad, but I still should not have let myself get to that point. And I can look back and see, like, I remember times of coming down to the man cave, going off, like, why is this smoking habit this serious? Right. It's not that serious. Right. I would be mad, but I've gotten way better, and he's gotten way better. Yeah. I just didn't have to yell the way I was doing it. So. Yeah, and I'm good for stepping away because I know that if I let it get too far, then I'm gonna say something that's gonna be very hurtful. Yeah. Whether it's true or not, I'm just gonna say it because I just want you to hurt. Yeah. Yeah. It's very petty. Yeah. But that's a trait that I know about myself. Yeah. But because I know that about myself, I make sure that before I let it get too far, I walk away. Like I go to another room, I take a deep breath, I go sit in the car, I do not let it get to a point where I know I'm gonna say something and it's gonna hurt him.
Yeah.
Because that's not what I'm wanting to do.
Yeah.
I might be just saying stuff out of anger because I'm, feeling backed into a corner, or you did something that upset me, or so I do, make sure that I make it a thing to walk away. And my husband is really good at doing. Oh, I'm sorry. My husband is really good at doing that as well. And it's not like I've mentioned before. He's a quiet guy. He doesn't, really say much. He doesn't say anything harmful at all. But if he just feels like it's getting a little overwhelming, he needs to walk away.
Yeah.
So, and we respect that.
Yeah, and I think to that point, it's some people may frown upon the thought of walking away from the situation because they're like, oh, well, you just left the conversation, or oh, you didn't finish it, or you just left mad, or oh, you still leaving me here while I'm still talking, or whatever. And so I think it's important to convey to your partner, like, I need a minute. Yeah. I'm going to have to. I need, just let me be, or whatever, or let them like, hey, in the future, if I walk away, it's because I really need to, because I don't want to say something hurtful. I don't want to blah blah blah. Instead of just doing it on a regular and letting them know, this is how I need to do. I need to do this because I don't want this to happen.
Right.
So still communicate what you need to do, whether it's in that moment or after. If you feel like you got to apologize, say like, hey, I don't mean anything by the fact that I had to walk away, but I had to walk away because I felt myself getting to a point where I was going to regret what I said.
Yep.
So make sure you still communicate that.
Yep.
Accepting mistakes or challenges or the growing pains that each other have.
A lot. Oh, it's going to be a lot. One of the growing pains that we really, really had to go through, and I feel like, especially in our generation, because there is such a huge issue with financial issues, with the economy, with job availability, deciding if I'm going to have children or not. Finances is always a thing.
Yeah.
And I remember even before we had children, like one thing that I had learned about my husband, even before he was my husband, was that if it's in his mind, if you don't talk him off the ledge because he feels like, oh, I got to get this right, I got to get it right, he's going to just dive head first. And then it's going to be a situation or an issue that I have to clean up or I have to take the responsibility for. Yeah. He did that before with a cell phone. And I was like, I don't think we need these phones right now. I don't think, no, we do. I think we should go ahead and just get it. And I'm like, I don't think so. It's not important. The cell phones that we have is already, no, I think we should go ahead and get one. And I had already saved like money, not specifically to get the phone, but because I was just very good at saving my money.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, you want to get the phones? We got the phones. I say maybe 5-6 months later, he was like, this phone is trash. I want a BlackBerry. That was when Blackberries was. I want a BlackBerry now because my phone don't have, my phone was acting a donkey. I could barely like touch the phone. It was one of them Windows phones. You would try to scroll them up, it was like glitching. And so he goes to the phone place, get him a BlackBerry. And then I'm like, well, dang, can I do that for my phone? It was like, no.
Yeah.
Like it has happened on more than one occasion. He's way better now than what he was.
Yeah.
But there was like multiple occasions where it was like, I gotta do it right now. I think I'm gonna hit it. Like he didn't think about the decision or the financial cost in making the decision, and he just shot forward.
Yeah,
and it was just like, so now he thinks about it before he makes decisions like that. He'll come and he'll talk to me, and we'll be like, okay, because we don't want it to be no mistake that we can't get out of, or I'm the one that's digging us out the mistake while you done already moved on. So, he's gotten way, 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 way better at that, and I'm proud of him for that. But I always, if I notice that he's trying to get there, I'm like, because remember them other times, I'm not throwing those mistakes up in his face, but I'm just like, You remember what happened.
Yeah.
And we don't have room to make no mistakes financially.
Yeah.
So
we just had something similar. I'm gonna say this, make the short version, but basically we had an AT&T come to our door and trying to talk to us about switching. So he was entertaining switching the internet. I'm like, okay, I'm tired of calling back and renegotiating this price with Spectrum anyway. So I went ahead and said we can go ahead and move forward and do it. And they say no, second guy comes up to talk to us about cell phones. And I was like, yeah, no, we were Metro. I like know exactly what my bill's going to be every month. I don't want to switch because, you know, y'all always adding all these extra taxes and fees and blah, 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 blah. Oh, no, we can say exactly what the price is, blah, 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 blah. Then he offered me all brand new phones, iPhones, 14s, $800 gift cards, all this stuff. So I'm like, okay. And you saying the price is going to be this. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, well, let me talk to my husband about it. So I tell him, like, hey, he said he can get us all new phones. I know you was kind of leaning towards getting another phone, but I don't know if you really need it. I really don't need one. I know Sanaa want a newer iPhone, but she don't have to.
Right.
And we just got Anaya another phone, but it wasn't the best. It was trash. So I'm like, it's up to you. I you know, if he's saying the price is gonna be good and we're switching that anyway, I'm fine with it. I like that we get all the phones plus the gift cards because I can use them gift cards to pay for this graduation party.
Right.
So he, you know, I had to ask him a couple of times and he was like, I guess, honey, if you want to do it. And $400 and some later, we canceled them because I got a bill almost $450, not even 2 weeks later. And they had all these charges and fees and stuff on there. I said, you didn't tell me about these. You didn't tell me about this.
Right.
I said, you might have said something about the bill might be a little higher, but we shouldn't even have a full bill yet. We just switched the phones.
Right.
And you didn't tell me about all these fees. And then when I talked to customer service, they told me that my monthly cost would be different than what he said. I said, nope. Here, take them all back. What we got to do. So what that caused me, I've already left one carrier and I got to go to another carrier when I'm still going to have to spend $400 some dollars, but at least I ain't giving it to you.
Right.
But now you can take the internet back too. Right. I don't want nothing from y'all.
Right.
And then my husband was like, yeah, honey, I was really thinking we probably shouldn't. This was the point of my story. Honey, if you felt like we shouldn't have, then I need for you to speak up. I'm not
going to make no decisions.
I'm not trying to make all the decisions. That's why I asked you. So if you didn't feel like we should, in the future, I need you to speak up. Yeah. If you say we don't think we should, he's like, well, you asked me a couple times and, you know, it sound like you really want to get it. Okay. But if you feel like within your spirit that we shouldn't, then I need you to say. And then I won't. Period.
Because that costs,
girl,
a lot.
Getting to know each other's families. Mm-hmm. And this can be tricky.
Yeah.
Because we got some what's the word I want to use?
Difficult. Hard.
Yeah. Difficult. Strange.
Special.
Yes. Special families. But it's very important for you to learn the siblings, the parents, the aunties, the uncles, what it's going to look like when you go to family gatherings, like all the things, you know, do you get taken advantage of? Were you bullied when you were younger? Is there family generational curses you need to know about? All of that stuff plays a part on you and how you act and the values you take into your marriage and raising your household. Mm-hmm. And know how it affects you when you get around certain people. Yeah. So you want to make sure you're talking about that.
Yeah.
Regularly asking desires and needs. I think this is very important.
Yeah.
This is something I like to do often where I'm just checking with my husband like, so honey, is there anything I could be doing better?
Yeah.
Anything that I'm not doing that you would like me to do?
That's a conversation. We don't have it often, but every now and then I'll, drop in his ear like, hey, let's have a sit down. Do you think I could be doing something more? Do you think, I could change something, or, what do you think that we could do together to help each other? We ask those type of questions. Like I said, with us, it's not as often as it should be or as it could be, but I do try to make sure to put that out there because I do want to know, what his thoughts are on that. Like, is there something that I need to change, or, and I'm always vocal. I've expressed this The
women usually are.
Yeah. I've expressed this many a times. I'm gonna tell you what I want. I'm gonna tell you what I need. And so you can't be like, well, I didn't know. How? How did you not know? Because I expressed it to you. Been expressing it to you since I know to express it. So, like I said, I'm good at expressing the things that I want or need or desire. He is not so much, so I have to I don't have to pull it out of him. If I just ask the question, it's like, well, let me think about it because I haven't thought about it. So, and I have to give him 1 to 3 business days to give me an answer. I have to check it. Hey, did you think about it?
Yeah.
Hey, babe, did you think about it?
I do my husband like that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it's important.
It is, and I think to Adrian's point, the reason why it is important is because you can get so busy and caught up on them hearing all of what you want, need, want to see change, whatever, and you don't want them to feel like, well, is my needs matter?
Right.
I mean, yeah, you can speak up and say it, but you're probably not.
Right.
So let me give you this opportunity to make sure I'm hearing you too. I want to know from you too. I'm not saying I'm perfect. So if there's something you want to see, let me know.
Right.
Let's talk about it.
Right.
Right. Recognizing when extra support is needed.
Yes.
This could be with each other. It could be with inviting parents. It can be with your village or whatever. But I think it's more especially when it comes to each other.
Yeah.
When you realize you're going through a hard time, like grief, going through school, super emotional because you're raising a freaking adult.
I'm just emotional. I'm super emotional. I'm not raising an adult. I'm raising an adult vicariously through Trillian. So we're doing this together.
Yeah, I was like, she knows. Like this weekend, I was all over the place. I was like happy, but I was frustrated at the same time. I was emotional. It was everything. And so yeah, it's one of those things again where you got to watch and see where your spouse is, what they need, check in on them, make them take a breather if you need, or offer to do something extra for them. Honey, you want a massage? Or
we'll go get some ice cream.
Yeah, or just see if they need to talk.
Yeah.
Or see if they just need a hug. It could just be that.
It really could. It really could just be a hug. You want a hug?
And not no 10-second hug.
No.
At least a minute. At least.
Well, I 30 seconds maybe.
I seen something on social media. I forgot what it said, but it was something like when you hug for a certain amount of time, you release.
Oh yeah, like the endorphins and the dopamine or something like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna challenge myself because we hug all the time anyway. But I want to challenge myself, like specifically sometime when he gets home or once we have that time together to hug. And I think they say the same thing for kissing. Kiss and hug. If you do it so long, that just like releases things in your body.
It does. Especially, so I think it's just the human contact, the human touch, because it's the same way with your children. If you hug your children and just cuddle with them, they're still fresh here on this earth anyway. So, hugging and cuddling, that feels comforting and nurturing to them. But because we, getting up there in age, and we don't get those cuddle hugs unless it's from our spouse. It's a different kind of, it's a good kind of connection when it comes to your spouse, your husband or your wife.
Even holding hands. I think some people take that for granted with small stuff like that sometimes. When you finally get a date, hold hands. It's not corny. It's not lame. It's a way to touch. It's connecting. It draws the intimacy with one another. Something as simple as holding hands.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, respecting each other's boundaries.
Yeah. Respect it. Know it. Because if you don't. Knuckle sandwiches are on the menu. But I think it's very important to respect the boundaries. Sometimes you just don't want to be bothered. sometimes it's like, I don't care who you are. I don't care if you my husband, if you my dog, if you my child. Please go away.
Yeah.
Please go away and allow me that time and that space that I need, however long I need it.
Yeah.
You know, allow me to have that. Just like, you know, we would allow them. I was just telling Tweet, my husband got his man cave down in the basement. He been going down there. All I hear is hustle and flow, playing through the floorboards. Put that hustle and flow away. But the right, right. But that's all I've been hearing through the floorboards. And I'm like, you know what? He needs that space. And the kids, I just want to go tell daddy something. No, you don't. Go sit down. Leave him alone. You don't want nothing but to get on his nerves.
Oh man.
Go away.
Right.
So, you know, we allow him, you know, that space. You know, we allow, you know, this is my space. And, you know, he set that boundary.
Yeah.
Okay, we're not gonna cross that boundary. We let you have that space. So
yeah. Being present. And I think sometimes it's undervalued with your spouse just being there in the same room.
Yeah.
Like my hubby still doesn't understand how going to the grocery store and just going with me. He's like, so what? You want me to just go? Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want you to go with
time.
me.
Yeah.
You know, he's looking at it like, we're not going to be together for real. You're going to be down this aisle. I'm trying to help you with this. You looking at stirring at 4 different oatmeals, trying to decide which one has the less carbs. I know. I still want you to go with me.
Yeah.
I still want you to go to the gas station with me.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to say that. I was about to say, I'd take you to the bathroom with me if I could.
The door stays open, okay? Door is open. Door is open. Look, I'll be there. Like, close the door. Ew. No, I just want to talk to you. I love you.
Yeah.
I miss you.
Yeah.
We're just one wall away. But I miss you.
Right. But yeah, being present, just having that time, you know. There's time when he watching his show or playing a game. He could be playing a game in his man game, and I'll still go down and just be present. I'm not even playing the game, not saying nothing. He could be talking to somebody on the mic, and I'm still just present. You know, it matters. So
yeah, it's appreciated.
Sharing experiences with one another. So I think the first thing we probably think about is like what happened at work or what happened with stuff with family and things like that. But it really can be any experience. You just want to share about your day, things that maybe your spouse haven't learned or don't know, or experience with other people, or just feelings that you're having about whatever, anything. They're there to share life with. So any experience that you have will be helpful in learning. And then, of course, which we've talked about before, practice active listening.
Yep. That goes hand in hand with that sharing the experiences, because sometimes if I just want to share like my day, I don't want you to give me a solution. I want you to just listen.
Yeah.
I want you to just listen to the story. And then at the end, it's like, what you think about it? If I say that, what you think about that? Then you give. But if I'm like, dang, you know, and that was just what it was.
Yeah.
You know, you can still go, well, how did you feel? You can go back to the, well, how did, you know, I know you said, but I mean, what you think the solution could be? Little questions like that. I don't need you to solve the problem.
Yeah.
Help me critical think.
Yeah.
Help me, but active listen.
Yeah.
Please.
Absolutely.
Because I want you to know that this was this, that was that. This is this, that was that. And blue fish, red fish. One fish, two fish. Yeah.
Well, that's it, y'all.
It was a good conversation.
It was.
I think that was really good. What are some things that you all do to continue to get to know your spouse? Is it just going on a run to McDonald's? Is it watching them? Is it just asking probing questions? Because I know sometimes, you know, when we think about getting to know our spouse, if you think about it more like an interview session, it becomes very sterile. But you gotta make it organic. It's something that we're doing every day. Naturally watching, oh, you like this? Oh, I was at the store and I saw this. You want to try this? Stuff like that. Like, especially if you know that your partner, your spouse, your husband, your wife is someone that likes to try new things. You know, hey, I came across this new candy. Or I saw this tweet good. She pop up at some international food store like, I found a porcupine fruit. You want to try it? she good at doing stuff like that. So, you know, whatever it is that you all do, share it with us below in the comments. And we could just continue the conversation.
And whatever you do, don't stop learning.
No.
Don't stop learning them. It's going as you go through life, there's always going to be some type of change, up and down, growth of some sort. So it just brings you all closer ultimately to continue learning them.
It definitely does. And be open and don't feel attacked at the different changes. And don't throw that you changed. Well, if I didn't, something's wrong.
That's right. That's right.
Yes, I've changed. I should change.
Yeah.
Change is important. It's a part of our growth. So, you know, just make sure that you're supporting each other through your changes, through learning each other, and you know, keep those lines of communication open.
Yeah.
So, but y'all, we gonna go ahead, wrap it up. Don't forget to like all the things, all the stuff that we said at the beginning. Do that.
Right.
But before we go, we always leave you with a good thing ain't hard to find,
but it take work to keep it.
It show do. All right, y'all. Until next week, we love you. Be blessed.
Love you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.